to add in there that column a minimum number of personnel.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Remember? So what you'll do is you'll link and then figure out how many times they didn't have personnel or how many hours. Probably it'd be easier to do how many hours they had at least the minimum amount of personnel during a time frame. And then obviously the difference between what it should be and how many times they had it is how many hours they served. Or how many hours they didn't serve, I should say. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, the difference between.
So, for example, if you're doing, I'm going to look for a week, okay? How many hours they actually were able to serve. So you're just going to do a count of how many times that minimum, how many times the number of people are greater than or equal to the minimum number of staff members.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right. So it should be 24 times 7, right? If anything less than that, that means they didn't have enough staff for that week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference between those is how much they didn't staff.
Right. Right.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So what you need to do is complete that union, add this column in there to say, okay, I think like the E's were, minimum of 1 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then ladders were like 3. You saw the announcement where I posted that, right?
Right. Yes, sir. I saw that announcement.
And you can probably just enter those in. There's only 35 units that we listed on this report. So just kind of type in for each one what that minimum staffing requirement
was.
Right, so then like a ladder truck is supposed to have at least 3. If it only had 1, you don't count it. Right. And that's what that union is trying to do.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So it's just counting the number of people that were staffed during that hour.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Oh, Dr. Larson, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so in my head, this is how I'm picturing it, and I just want to know if it's wrong or right or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So we need to make sure that all the relationships between the tables first are there, and then all the relevant data needs to be connected under the unions, and then the GUI is there to access that?
Well, so inside Access, you can set up the relationships. That is true. And it's best if you do, but you don't have to. So I don't know if you were there for the first part when we were looking at that report 1.
No, I've been
okay. So
stuff.
So what was happening is he said, well, it's bombing out every time I try to run this report 1. Well, he had tables in there that weren't joined. You don't have to set the relationships for the tables, but for the queries, you have to set those joins. If you don't, your queries won't work. Or if they do work, you'll see a lot of repeated things that are irrelevant.
Okay, so for everything that might be queried, we need to have a join.
Yes.
Set for. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But in order to make those joins, you need to basically have a foreign key setting up in that relationship. So the foreign key is really how you determine that relationship. Most of the time it's primary key to foreign key. I think pretty much all the time in this one it probably will. Well, it won't during one of them because we have to use shop instead of the shop ID number instead of the apparatus number. So there'll be one time where it's not the primary key, it'll just be a candidate key.
Okay.
Now what the union is doing, see, unions do something a little bit different. Unions allow us to stack queries on top of each other. So then it essentially looks like we're adding more and more records. So that's what this union is doing, is it's going through and saying, okay, I want the count of all of the employees at this day and this hour, right?
Yeah.
And then it keeps adding up as you keep adding another union. So you'd want one for 8 o'clock, then you'd want one for 9 o'clock, then you'd want one for 10 o'clock, all the way through, you know, having a full 24 hours, because the fire department is supposed to staff, you know, that piece of equipment for 24 hours.
Oh, okay. I'm remembering. It's all piecing together. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. I got it. So we need to have a union pretty much for every primary key to the other ones relevant.
Well, the union is only for this one very specific problem. So it's kind of a type of query. With the joins, you're going to have a join for every table. Okay, or every table that you add.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have one table, you don't need a join. If you have 2 tables, you need a join. If you have 3 tables, you need at least 2 joins. Okay, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Now a union, like here, we're doing a union on the same table over and over again. But all we're trying to do with this is summarize it in a little different way with a little different criteria.
So it can be called on later?
Yes, so you
Okay,
can go
okay.
through and call on it to say, okay, at 8 o'clock, how many employees did we have staffed for this piece of equipment? At 9 o'clock on this day, how many employees did we have staffed for this piece of equipment?
Oh, okay. I get it now.
Okay. Because again, the problem that you're working on, and to tell you the truth, after talking to him last week, I told you I was going to ask them about that incident report. And they basically kind of said, well, we don't have faith in that incident, or not the incident, the maintenance report. So what I almost should have had you guys do is make a maintenance reporting database, but we're going to go with what we got. And again, we're going to assume whatever they say they're down for that day is good for the prior days in that week. So you're just going to add on, you know, if it was down 8-1 for 5 days, you're going to add 5 days worth of time for that week.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
But no, I don't think you guys are that far away. Again, you just need to go through and kind of work through finishing this query here, putting on that, putting in that minimum staffing. And then what you'll do again is this union, click to add, create another query. Okay, so there you can add, click to add the union on the right.
On the right.
The one that says union.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just
Right.
union query.
Clear to the right where it says add tables.
Oh, okay, yeah. I got you. Hold on. I'm not good with.
Close it again.
Yeah. Nope. All right. Let me just create query design.
Right. So what this is basically showing you, oh, I can query a query.
Right.
Okay. So I can join these just like on the, I think it's either SQL1 or SQL2, right? I had you querying a view. Okay.
Mhm.
You can do joins on a view and everything else. Okay. So what you'll do is you'll finish this union one, you'll come back and add that tables for apparatus, do the join for the, I think it's schedule, it has the apparatus name. So you're just going to join it to the whatever the apparatus ID is. Yeah, go ahead and double click there. All right, so union to schedule. Right. You're just going to join those and you're going to say, okay, when my minimum staff is greater than my count of employees, that's my criteria for having it show up for hours. Okay, then you can do a count of hours. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. That way you can get that number that you need, the number out.
Yes. But again, you need to have that minimum staff number populated.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to go through, and I don't even think we went through and finished the second part of the union. I was just showing you how to do a union really quick. So you're going to do your criteria to say, okay, you know, shift between 8 o'clock or between 8:59 and 9, or 8:59 and let me think here. If your start time is less than or equal to 9 and your end time is or greater than or equal to 9, no. Yeah, less than and you're equal to 9 and your end time is 9 o'clock or greater, or it would be 10 o'clock or greater than 9. This would be the 9, right? You see what I'm saying on the shift start time down at the bottom where it says having?
I'm getting
access is a weird thing. You're going to want that start time to be you know, somewhere less than 9 o'clock or less, right?
Right.
And then you're going to want your end time to be 10 o'clock or more, and then you would count it as 9.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Then you would go and have another union. In that union, you would change your HT flag to be 10, right?
Right.
And then you would have having my shift, you know, less than or equal to 10, and my end time greater than or equal to 11, right?
Right.
So you keep going doing that.
So you're saying we could just stack the unions on top of each other?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
That's what you're going to do. You will have 24 queries that you're joining together.
Right. Right.
Okay, with unions. So this one query will have 24 select statements.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. One for each hour, and just the difference is going to be the 8, 9, and then the difference is going to be the having statement. It's going to have the appropriate hour block between this and this.
Yes.
Okay.
Then once you have that done, then you'll do your query to determine, well, how many of these hours had at least my minimum requirement.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just count them.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
look at it though, is it like does it use AM PM or is it in 24-hour? Like the time itself.
Hmm.
You could
Go
pick
to
instead.
the incidents, double click on, or go to the incidents table.
It's 24-hour time.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Go over, not the incidents table, go to the employee tables, or shift table, sorry. Shift table.
Okay, no, this one is the 12-hour.
Yeah. But you can always make it 24-hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So again, this is where it's, like I said, they've kind of caught themselves a little bit having like 3 different database systems that are up in the cloud that don't necessarily talk to each other. Okay, so they're able to get some straight up reports. They're not necessarily able to really easily get the, write custom queries, because they're specifically not designed to do, certain things within the reports that they're allowed to download.
Right, right.
Does that make sense for what you guys need for this?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm starting to see a little bit.
So if that gets you started a little bit, do we want to, you guys want to meet again in a couple days?
Isn't it due on Wednesday? Is that correct?
Yes, but
Okay.
I'm gonna be fine if you get it like towards the end of the week, as long as it's not like Saturday night. I can probably even take it Saturday during the day. I think I have to have my grades in by Tuesday the 12th. So I just need to make sure I've got enough time to put things in. So,
Yes, sir.
I probably can get it all done on Monday, but I really prefer not to have it last second,
Right,
if
right.
you know what I mean.
Yes, sir. No, I
Because
got
that
it.
way I can give you some feedback and say, hey, you need to fix something and return it in.
Okay. Yes, sir.
But if you guys want to meet, like Tuesday evening, I can do that.
That sounds perfect to me.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, yes, sir. I'll be available for that.
All right, so I'll make another meeting for Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Work for you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That works for me.
Meet you guys again then. Like I said,
Okay.
that should get you a start of where you need to go.
Okay. Yes, sir. And we can
All
try to have that finished out by then and try to have something to get feedback on.
That sounds good.
All right.
All right.
So,
Yep. Bye.
Thank you.
thank you.
Hey, you guys, if you're available, I will be available like afternoons and evenings every day of this week. I just have finals for various classes anytime like in the mornings. So after that point, if we want to try and meet tomorrow afternoon / evening based on your work or schedules, we can just we can actually like try and get some of this specific stuff done
Okay.
tomorrow or Tuesday.
Yeah, and I'm gonna send you guys my phone number. So just literally, if I have a bad habit of just forgetting about things and just So I'm just gonna send you my phone number, and if I don't show up or if I don't see something or if I don't respond, literally
Yeah,
just call me.
Yeah, put that in the Discord group chat. But yeah, I took quick notes for this one, and I'll put that in the group folder as well.
Oh yeah,
just-
I literally recorded everything too, so I can.